I just want to invest in people that really want to be the best that they can be. Good morning, everyone, you wonderful realtors out there. It's Todd Scrima and Robyn LaVassaur and Jim Reed. Thank you for your business. You're receiving this because we've probably closed a loan for you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We do a podcast once a month for realtors. We do one for some other areas. But this is kind of brainstorming about giving you ideas. Today's topic is you can make money in any market. Make money in any market. So we're going to talk about that. A lot of people are having to pivot these days. There's a lot of stuff going on in a lot of areas. And I don't want to get sidetracked in, inflation, this and this. Here's what I can tell you is that in the real estate market, it's a pretty healthy market. We probably won't see a bunch. I was at a conference yesterday and they were saying, hey, we're not going to have heavy appreciation, but most people think appreciation this year will still be 5%, which is about double a normal market. So I think things are great. And I know that may sound counterintuitive a little bit, but I really do think things are great because in my mind, when things are disrupted, that's where opportunity is.
For sure.
Right? So that's how I think about this topic. Robyn, Jim, what's your thoughts on how realtors can make a lot of money in any market, no matter what the conditions?
Well, last time I checked, the average commission in my market was about 14 grand for a realtor. Yeah, so 14 times 10 is 140. 14 times 20 is $250,000. It's a pretty good job, right? And so I think the way that you could, if I was going to simplify it, like super simplify it, we really realize that. Realize you got a job where you could do really, really well if you want to, and you gotta show gratitude about that so that you're attractive to other people. Second thing I would say is you got to pivot. You got to be way more active. Way more active. Way more active. So I think that in the past you had to spend about 10 hours a week being active, prospecting, meeting new people, making phone calls, and now it's more like 30 hours a week.
So Jim, just define that for a second, because we use the same definition for lenders. Because when you just said that, what I think people heard was do flyers or be on Facebook. I want you to clarify what that 20, 30 hours means.
Well, to me, it means I like to simplify things. So to me, it means you're on the phone with a past client or current client, or you're on the phone with a referral partner, or you're in front of a past client or a current client, or you're in front of a referral partner. I don't really care what you're doing. I don't really care what you're talking about. I don't really care. Like some people in sales coaching and sales books, they're like, well, you can only count green time if you asked for business or if you had this 2 criteria. And I think for the mentality of most of us, that we have to lower the bar of what success is so that we feel more successful, so that it comes out of our pores, right? Like if you went and played golf for 4 hours with 3 people who ran branches that didn't work for us, and you never talked about business, would that be sales time?
Yes.
Yes, it would. It would. Because of the time you spent with them, they would be more open to a business meeting.
Yeah.
Right?
Jim, real quick, I want you to clarify, because I think this is a huge miss for realtors. In lending, we naturally go after what we call referral partners. Referral partner is typically someone that can send us 4 closed loans a year or more. Realtors have referral partners, but I don't see them focus on it a lot.
Yeah.
And so I want you to define, what is a referral partner for a realtor?
Right. So there's if you drew a circle and you looked at a realtor business, and one that I think can last the test of time, half their business comes from their database. So that means people they know, families they know, past clients they know that they market to, they mail once a month or call once in a while and have parties and invite them. That's half their closings. A quarter of their closings come from advertising. That's like open houses are advertising, right? Someone see the sign, they came in. That's advertising. I don't really like it when they spend a bunch of money on Zillow. I shouldn't say never. I've almost never seen it work really well. I have seen it work really well for one or two people in my 27 years. So I can't say never. So advertising is a quarter, and then the quarter they always miss, not always, but mostly miss, is business to business, right? So one of my friends in town, his name's Tom. He's one of the best agents in our area. So his business to business channel is 3 hospital HR directors. So he is buddies. He accidentally became friends and hung out with 3 of the recruiting HR directors for the 3 biggest hospitals in our town. So when a doctor comes to town, guess who he gets to meet with? So these 3 friends send him 30 deals a year.
Yeah,
That's
and
what you're talking about.
Jim's talking, just for reference, this realtor that Jim's referencing closes 60, 80 million a year consistently in real estate. So
Yeah.
I'm not talking about a 15 million a year realtor.
And he's
So
boutique. He has 1 assistant and 1 part-time assistant. He's not like,
yes,
oh, this team of 72 buyers agents and closes, the whole I want the trophy but not the money. That ain't him. He wants the money. He don't care about the trophy.
yep, I love that. I love that. So
Makes sense,
so
Robyn? You got the sideways eyes going. Does that make
No,
sense?
I mean, I think you're 100% right. I think that, one of the things that I think you said earlier was be intentional. And one of the things that I think that, real estate has got a lot of freedom and flexibility. And it requires a lot of self-regulation. And
Mhm.
because we're social by nature, a lot of us who choose entrepreneurial or sales-based things, there's kind of an expectation. And the truth is, it happens just enough that we think that's the truth, right? And meaning that you have a dinner party and all of a sudden they choose you as their realtor, and that feels like that's all it takes. But the truth is, it's, when we talk about making money in any market, this market especially, it requires, and I would say any market does for true longevity and success, but it requires you to be a voice that is not just a really nice person at the dinner party, but that is the person that everybody is thinking about all the time for all things real estate. And I think about that in terms of, I need an electrician. I'm going to check with my realtor. We bought a second home in Arizona, and I'll give you this reference. Literally, we're talking about going down there and building some owner's storage in this second home, and it, and literally we're thinking, well, we don't have tools down there. Like, we live in Oregon, we don't have tools down there. And all of us go, oh, we'll just call Kim and Dave, the realtors that we use down there, because they've been the best connection to all things thus far. They have an incredible business. I mean, you're talking top line real estate agents. Why? Well, because they're the people that we think about for all things when it comes to the house. How do you build that kind of intentional business? And I think that there's a lot of assumption and a lot of narrative that people are going to, oh, for sure, if they need anything lending, they're going to call Robyn LaVassaur. Well, that's my ego talking. That's for sure not the truth, right? And I feel like I'm a good loan rep. So realtors, you for sure have to not only think that, but you have to act upon it and make sure that people know you want to be all things real estate to them. You think about selling, buying, hearing a friend is doing it, wanting to put a deck on the back of your house, wanting to upgrade the value or investigate schools or whatever it may be. You should be having a conversation with your realtor 100% of the time as if they're one of your life consultants right at your hip. And the best of the best that have consistency, that's what they've created. A lot of the others still have a good business, but to really sustain and keep it at the highest level, I think we got to get intentional.
yeah, Robyn, you're talking about consistency and following a process, and I'll tell you a quick story and then we'll wrap up. Years ago, when I was starting out as a loan officer, I was doing 2, 3, 4 loans a month my first 6 months, and then I had a month where I closed 1 loan, and I closed it the last day of the month, so I almost threw a donut. And I was depressed, I was frustrated, I was angry. So I thought, something's wrong. Like, who's the best salesperson I know? And this title rep came to mind. So I called him and I said, Bud, you don't know me. I met you briefly in the office, but you do business with 200, 300 people. I know your stats. Like, I had researched this guy. And I said, I want you to meet with me. He says, okay. So I go to his office and he says, long story short, he says, Todd, I'm going to tell you what to do, but you won't do it. And I said, well, you don't even know me. He says, well, I'm just telling you, you won't do it. I said, okay, test me. He says, call 20 people a day, every single day of your business life from 9 to 11. And you will never, ever struggle with business ever again. And I said, that sounds too simple. He said, just shut up and do it, and I'm not talking to you anymore. It was really rude, but it was one of those magic moments in my life forever changed, because I just started calling people, 20 people a day. I called it to 2-hour power hour. And I was in a super hard market back then, and nothing close to what it is. Today's not even nothing. And next month I closed 5 loans. Then I closed 7. Then I closed 8. Like it literally was gas on the fire. And it was just one process, just one process. That's all it took. And I think that lack of discipline is shocking to me, that people don't have that. Because realize, because of that decision, because of that process, I never worried about money again. Never worried about closings again. I'm over dramatizing saying never, but I didn't worry about kids getting fed. I developed a bunch of big accounts. Some of my biggest accounts I ever got came from that call plan. So all the fear went away because of one process. And I think people talk about all this Facebook ads and all. I'm just like, stop. Just call 20 people a day. You'll be fine. Jim, some closing thoughts?
Well, I don't know. The thing I thought about is connection solves anxiety, right? If you're connected to your job and to people, you won't be anxious. Connection solves like a lot. You can look to all kinds of historical stuff around it. Isolation leads to bad things. Think about your kids. If they're busy through high school, they don't get in trouble. If they're not, they do. Let's just simplify it. Stay busy. Be connected to other people. I swear it'll work out. Probably not the way you anticipated or intended, which is weird. It's what I've found doing that. I think I'm calling, pitching this, or setting meetings to talk about that, and then the business comes from over here for some reason. And at first I'm like, well, I don't really have to do this. The business would have come, but that's not true. Right? Activity solves all the problems, right? What's the old expression? The harder I work, the luckier I get.
Yeah, there's the old formula. I don't know where I got it, but it was activity times passion equals results. Activity times passion equals results. So, Jim, you're happy doing what you're doing. You feel fortunate and grateful to be doing what you're doing as a realtor, and you're talking to a bunch of people about it, and you have a little bit of process to it. I mean, shoot, Jim just gave you, if you close 3 deals a month, you're 60, 70 grand gross commission a month.
Check this out. If you wore your name badge every day, everywhere you went, and handed out 10 business cards a day for 20 days a month, for 12 months a year, you would close more business.
Yeah. I think that to summarize this up, have more fun, put a little process to it. Have more fun, put a little process to it, right? Jim, Robyn, you guys are awesome. Realtors, I hope you appreciate this. I want to give you a shout out. A lot of people are like, oh, the buyers can't get off the fence. The buyers can't get off the fence. Interest rates went up. Guys, there's 2 products that we have that solve that. One is called, I forgot what we called it, Robyn, but it's a way for the borrower to start at, say, at, what is it called? Smooth Start. So it allows them to start 2% lower on interest rate. So they're in the 3% range. Then it goes up 1% the next year, and then 1% the next year. I forgot what we call the other program, but it's a loan that is fixed for 5 to 7 years. We call them intermediate arms. That's what we call them. But there's some pet name we gave it. But that allows people to get a lower interest rate, because you're pretty sure that in the next 5 or 7 years they could refinance and get a lower interest rate. So if you just use one of those 2 programs in your buyer's presentation with your buyers, you're going to overcome the rate issue, right? You're going to overcome the payment issue, because those programs allow you to start at those lower interest rates. So don't use that as, oh, I don't want to buy now. Inventory, there's still a lot of inventory problems. There's not enough new home starts. Those are just national stats that we track. you're gonna see continued appreciation, right? So go out there and you gotta speak that way with passion to your buyers and sellers so that they buy another house. We gotta lead them in the right direction with some credibility and passion, with some thought behind it, so that we can, get them unfrozen, because some people got frozen a little bit, right? Okay. You guys are awesome. Thank you for your business. Thank you for listening. We love you. Have a great month. Talk to you soon.